Venom is no joke, guys.
I mean, it's tough for Crystallize to, going back to your point about him dying. Like every time you have a Veno that is this far ahead and has this damage online already, all he has to do is be nearby, and even if he gets caught in the Chronosphere, he just pops his ulti off, and so much damage ends up coming out.
And we do see right now a lot of mirroring action coming out. General's actually hanging out down here in the Radiant jungle. Dendi also was just doing some casual farming, but it looks like he doesn't actually want to commit to this. And we do see all the Plague Wards up here in the top lane that no one's just pushing out. Sentry Ward gets placed down. They know that Roger's there. Yeah, there's the Frost Blast coming out. They'll be able to land a Fissure on top of that. There's going to be a nice heal bomb coming out, and the Enchant Totem with Lil will be able to clean up. So they got wise to Roger just hanging out in that area, and they decide, yeah, that's not going to be happening ever again. Top lane, though, they do manage to grab no one over here. The Silence coming out. He's still going to be able to get that ultimate off. Gets the Gale as well. He does have a full pipe, actually. No one's actually going to be able to walk away from this and get kills. Saneko's going to get taken down. He turns back around. He taunts over at the Void. Crystallize says, oh, man, no, I do not want this. He doesn't have a TP, though. He's going to get a double kill. That is not what they were expecting, chronoing a solo little Venomancer there. He just murdered 2 of their best people, and he goes over into the mid lane, starts chasing around General. General's so slowed down. There's the Atos coming out from Ramses. The Chain Cross gets thrown out as well, and he's just obliterated.
And VP just taking the early game momentum that they had, that they secure themselves in the laning phase, and just really applying the pressure to Navi. They don't want to give them the chance to recover farm, and every chance they get, they're just seizing down on everybody. They do, it's a lot of squishy heroes on the side of the Dire. Like Beastmaster is kind of the closest they have to a tank, but definitely not what you would expect in terms of tanky heroes.
Look at Dendi. He's just like, no one places one of these wards over on the side, and he immediately just TPs out. He's like, I do not want anything to do with this Hydralisk. And I think that's a smart call, considering no one just got a solo double kill.
Yeah, Dendi is keeping up in net worth, though, for the most part. 8,200 on him. I mean, there is a bit of a gap to the Venomancer, but the real surprise is that this Necro is just doing so good. Ramsey's farming incredibly well. 501 on him. He's got his Radiance almost online in the next 1,000 gold. It's going to be really, really tough for Malvitas to keep up the pressure once that Radiance comes online.
Well, I mean, that's sort of Ramsey's deal, right? He's just so good at farming, and especially if you give him an entire lane, basically, where he's uncontested because, you know, again, Beastmaster doesn't want to feed his boars. They spot Roger out over here as well. They still have that sentry ward, so he's got to be very, very careful. But looks like the rest of the team, they're grouping up. We've definitely got 3 of the Radiant heroes down here in the bot lane. They're looking maybe to go for the tier 2. And I'm not sure if they're just going to try to maybe go for a trade. We do see that Crystallize and Seneko making their way over to the tier 1 in mid. And of course, Dendi was in the top lane. Looks like they've got their eyes, though, here on this bottom tier 2.
And looking at the item builds on Crystallize and Dendi, I'm having a little bit of flashbacks to like 6.83, the ho-ho-ha. We've got Mask of Madness online for both Dendi and Crystallize on the Faceless Wolf. But getting a little bit of PTSD right now, Moxie.
Well,
Ho-ho-ha days are back.
No, don't say that. Please don't say that. But anyways, over in the Roche pit, they know that all 5 of the Radiant heroes are over trying to take that tower. They're going to go for Roche and try to make the best out of this. Looks like we see the TP coming out here from Seneko. We'll go back. Should be able to get this Roche, no problem, though. No one's going to contest it. But during this, we get a lot of damage being put on this tier 3 here bot. Crystallize will be able to get himself the Aegis. And we see a lot of the heroes TPing back now, trying to put some damage over onto no one. They pop the pipe as well onto the creep wave, so they're even more difficult to take down here. Dendi's standing as far back here. Doesn't want to get up close and personal, obviously, with Ramses, but like, look at them. They don't have an Aegis. They're able to just grab that tower. That's going to be shrines opened up for Virtus Pro.
The one advantage that Navi does have is the fact that Dendi can, for the most part, sit this far back.
Oh man, the Atos comes out, double silence, and they're able to get that giant Poison Nova off. Dendi's gonna have to run himself over to the shrine. Mystic Flare comes out, but the Repel's over up and running on Ramses. And they're actually able to pop the Aegis on Crystallize. Oh man, that's not what Navi wanted. That's not how they wanted to use that at all. And look at them, they just, VP, not afraid. They're just gonna keep going ahead. I thought they were gonna back off after they got the tower so they could get shrines, but they realized there's not too much that they can do right now. They're just so incredibly strong. They've got a Necro, they've got a Venomancer over here. Pipe's going to be up in a second again, too, so they can just pop that if they feel threatened.
I mean, it's a question of like, who do you jump? If you're Navi right now, what do? Do you jump on Necro, and then you have an Earthshaker that can fissure block. You've got a Venomancer that can just pump Gale and wards into the Chronosphere. Do you jump the Venomancer? Okay, well then you got a Necrophos who's just going to Reaper Scythe you. Like, they need some kind of way to catch like 3-4 heroes, but Virtus Pro not giving them that opportunity. They're staying spread out. You have to choose who you get, is what they're saying.
I mean, that was the problem earlier, too, is that you see Crystallize and you get these really nice Chronospheres, you catch a couple people in them, and they've been incredibly difficult to try to grab, just because of the fact that, Virtus Pro, they're playing really smart. They, realize that they don't want to be caught in a Chronosphere and have everybody bunched together, but then the problem is they're just too tanky. They've got too much sustain. I mean, you've got a full pipe over on the Venomancer. Obviously, Omni Knight, he's got Greaves. He's going to be able to throw out heals, repels, all of that stuff. You've got a lot of ways to cancel. We talk about... what was it the other day? We were casting King R plays an amazing Earthshaker because he's just so good at his positioning. Every time that the Chronosphere would go up, he would just make sure that he was positioned outside of it and just interrupt the void, throw in that fissure. And obviously, Lil, top tier, player here. Same thing going on, but this is a very rich Necrophos. And I don't know how they deal with this. They've got, he's, again, tanky. Hood of Defiance on himself. He's got the Rod of Atos. He's got a Radiance.
Yeah,
how do you deal with this Forge?
Dendi suddenly has to get a lot of items, and they have to find a way to delay these pushes. Because if they lose this second set of racks, the game becomes very, very difficult. But they can't even spam out the waves with shrapnel because of these pipes.
This pipe, yeah. Look at the rest of Virtus. They're just hiding out over into the corner. We do see the pincering action, though, coming in. It looks like they wanted to try to jump, but there's a dunk coming forward. They do spot out Zaneko here. He's in a world of trouble. He's actually just obliterated. Looks like Beastmaster just changed his mind and says, yeah, no, I don't want to walk into that. Grabs himself a haster and is going to make his way back to the base. And I mean, they're going high ground against the sniper, which isn't easy, but they're doing an okay job of it right now with that pipe, with all the heal, the sustain coming out here. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, that's the big part. It's just
the force forward. They spot Dendi over onto the side. They throw out the Atos. They get the Gale off. There's going to be a nice Chronosphere coming out from Crystallize, but what's he going to do here? There's the Fissure coming out. They get the kill over onto Sniper. Looks like Crystallize now. He's going to get scythed on top of that. The buyback comes out from Sniper. They're not ready to give up just quite yet. Roger, he's doing the best he can. He throws out a couple tracks, but there's not much that he can do. Dendi's sitting so far back here, just trying to do whatever he can to push them off, but there's not much that this little Sniper can do. We do see, though, Beastmaster coming around the other side here. Comes forward. He immediately gets fissured over here by Lil, turning back around, and Tote's just being stun locked. The Atos comes out, gets the yell off, but he's gone. And first game of the series, Virtus Pro. Ramses drops all of his items onto the ground because, reasons.
Yeah, I mean, just the laning stage was just so key, and they drafted themselves, I don't want to say ungankable lanes, but almost, basically. Roger couldn't find any openings, not through any fault of his own, just because the lanes were so secure from Virtus Pro. Lich Omni Knight, how do you gank that? Necrophos, Death Pulse is off, whatever you try and do. And then, of course, the Lil and Venomancer in the mid. There's just no way for Roger to get any work done in the early game, and they used that, Virtus Pro used that very effectively to snowball into the mid and late game.
Well, again, we talked about it all came down to how the laning phase worked out, and it was very, very good for Virtus. You can't let Ramses just get free farm. This guy is just too good at farming, very, very efficient. Obviously, no one over in mid. I feel like we're going to see a ban come out against the Venomancer. I know Navi does not like to play against it. It somehow slipped through the draft, and they struggled pretty hard, but GG, well played. This is game number 1, guys. We'll be back with game number 2, so stick around.
Lebih jauh lagi juga 3.
2, 3, 3.233バスケットのリング。8で天才。そこ花。難しい。貸して。そうして。
Main basket di Jepang beda ya.
Di Hamburg. 一回休憩しよう。おにぎり。いらない？ありがとう。何これ？ブラシ？わかんない。ダメ？ダメ。ごめん。これがレポネゴロ戦争の場所。こんなに？これこんな病院行けないよ。そうだね。何百件もあるね。なんか他にあるはず。これなんていうの？スリーブドラパンアトス。スリーブドラパンアト。これ分けて読んだ方がいいかも。ラパンブラストアリマ。18、30。時間みたい。時間？18時25分から保健室ってこと？じゃあ保健室行こうよ。でもこの時間学校閉まってるよ。あそこ。大丈夫。私に任せて。いい案がある。いい案？あのね。Kenapa enggak? Kata Yuki pernah nyolong kunci.
Itu kunci jawaban, bukan kunci sekolah.
Ya beda dikit.
Oke, tapi aku mau kencan sama Yuki. Gimana?
Bisa diatur. Sayang. Itu いや、盗んだりはするつもりはないんですけど、なんていうかちょっとこう、なんか借りたいなと思ったりして。Dia bilang, ada orang aneh Pak di depan sekolah.
Gimana?
Kayaknya mabuk deh. Kita takut pulang Pak. Di depan situ Pak.
Gimana?
Di depan situ Pak. Ini Pak. Mana?
Pintar juga otak mana.
でももう少しで好きな兄さん来ちゃう。少ししたらケイミーさん来ちゃう。Kata dia, kamu gantan. Gantan? そんなこと言ってないよ。Mama,行こう。Yuk.
Jam segini udah bunyi. Dan bunyinya di mana-mana.
Jam. Cari jam. Empat dua delapan 305 800.
Maksudnya apa?